this is Third for Puppy Love, and welcome to this short video I'm doing on Zanki 0. I said I would do this at the end of my final stream related to the game, and I didn't want to do this as a stream because it's going to be a very short thing I'm doing. I'm going to show you guys the final note, which I managed to get, and I'm going to talk a little bit more about my thoughts on the game. Especially given that I gave myself a couple days to think more clearly, because that ending, the ending of the game, just left me in so many tears. Yeah, I'm gonna do that. And of course I put this warning up because, oh, I should probably change it off. It's been like a whole minute. I put that warning up because I feel like some people go on here just to see the final note, but I'm not just gonna show that. I'm gonna talk about the entire game as a whole a little bit. Not too much. I'll keep it short and brief and not spend like 30 minutes talking about it. And also this, I loaded directly from the game cleared save file. So, yeah. And also, the final note was in this area right here. On the map. How I got that, how I managed to get it is, I'm not going to give you guys a clear explanation of how I did it, but I will kind of give you a hint. Give you guys a hint. So basically, it obviously has to do with this, like the association of these numbers and all that. But the thing is, and my throat. It's also very early in the morning that I'm recording this, so I want to get it done right away. So basically,
found it.
It's this code right here, backwards. So basically, what you're inputting into the thing in this room is 318080102. And it said it right here. The end is the beginning. So you had to. I didn't even figure that out. I thought it was just saying, oh, that is when the world ended. Well, while it is the world when, well, it is the date the world ended in the story. It's the reverse. The answer is reversed. So you have to input the numbers in reverse order. My oblivious brain did not catch that and spent 20 minutes putting in random codes. I did it in the order that I wasn't supposed to. Put the 2018 and all that. And when it was actually the reverse, 318, you know. And another thing is yes, you do insert the zeros. And you have to figure out whether it's, which key is 0. I feel like I should say it. I will say that the one that's 0 is the outline circle. Outline. You know, like 5, 6, 7, 8 are these. Basically, it's the circle one is 0. Yeah. And that's how, that's what I got from searching up the answer. I'm still a little ashamed of myself for not, realizing that. It took me 20 minutes. Well, not really 20 minutes. I spent 20 minutes in a game trying to figure it out and got nothing, when the solution was that simple. Anyways, it unlocks that door, and, when you do that and explore the room, you get, the achievement Truth in the Depths. But obviously, depending on what order you look at all them, well, doesn't really matter, but like, either way, you get Scribe, which is collecting all the notes. The one where the mouse is currently selected on. So yeah, those 2 achievements are received from that. Dang it. Come on, game. You want to minimize the game? Okay. Of course, if you manage to collect all the notes till this point. And of course, naturally, I'm going to read you guys Note 8. And I will kind of say this now, I kind of already read it. The reason why it acts like it's not selected, like I didn't read it, is because I reloaded the save. randomly. But because I was recording it, and I was like, oh no, I should probably record this first, and I reloaded save to make sure I kept things intact. Anyways, that and also I tried to record this twice, and I messed up every single time because I kept stuttering at the start of my intro. Yeah, I mess up a lot whenever I do my intro. Anyways, I'm gonna read this. Oh boy. In the end, I couldn't choose. I chose not to make a decision. I decided to postpone tomorrow's plans. I made Annalina's corpse seem like she was killed by a mysterious assassin who had infiltrated Mani, reporting it to Mani's superiors and my country as such. The higher-ups in my country would have no choice but to postpone the plan if the spy they sent was killed by someone else. It was only a matter of time before they began suspecting I'd defected, but I didn't have to deal with that just yet. At least for tonight. Just for tonight, I allowed myself to avert my eyes from the issue in front of me. I moved Adelina's body to the bathroom and went to bed with my sister. I embraced my sister, who was about half or a third my size, under the blanket. She'd been apologizing ever since she finished crying. I'm sorry. I'm really sorry. It's my fault. Sorry. I'm sorry. I told her the same thing over and over in response. It's okay. It will all be okay. Don't worry. Leave everything to me. Anyone who was revived as a clone may inherit their previous feelings, memories, and personality, but their physical abilities were reset to 0. I'm sorry. She must have apologized to exhaustion. My 6-year-old big sister drifted off to sleep. In the room that smelled faintly of blood, I focused on the sensation of her warmth. Maybe because she was a child, or because her mental state was affecting her body, but her body temperature was much higher than my own. There was nothing for me to do now but to feel my big sister's warmth. I'd been thinking so much until now. All those thoughts, and I ended up with this miserable result. Everything was back to 0. It seemed thinking wasn't really my forte. When I woke up, I found myself alone. My sister was no longer in this world. Next to me, I found a broken X key that must have been shot with a silenced handgun. That, along with the white sand that had once composed my big sister's body. The white sand that my sister had dissolved into. I felt nothing. I only lay still in bed, staring at the pile of sand that was once my sister. We continued staring at each other. I don't know how long I stayed there. Before I knew it, the sunlight that peered through the gap in the curtains had reached my toes. I see. My sister... She killed herself again. Maybe she felt guilty for killing Adelina, or she couldn't stand to live after confessing her sins. Whatever the reason, my big sister killed herself. She ran away again. She left me alone. Again. What is this? With the X key destroyed, she couldn't even come back to life as a clone. She had killed herself completely. She had run away completely. I realized I'd been glaring at the white sand that was once my sister. I realized there was an emotion growing in me that I'd never felt before. And I immediately knew what it was without thinking about it. I was angry at sister. After apologizing over and over like a broken tape recorder, after admitting her sin, she still ran away. She ran away, leaving everything for me to deal with. It must have been the one answer she could come to after all the deliberation and despair. How was I supposed to feel after she died on me again? All the suffering I was left with after being left alone once more. I was stricken with sorrow by the fact that she didn't even consider any of it. Whether she saw through or abandoned her mission, I wanted her to be alive. I didn't want her to leave it to me. I wanted her to endure it with me. What was I supposed to do now? Who cares? Thinking wasn't my forte. Whether clones and the process of cloning are a sin or not wasn't something I could figure out by thinking about it. It wasn't something for one person to decide. If I couldn't rely on my sister or anyone else, if there was no one to decide for me, all I could rely on was God. Now that Adelina is dead, obtaining the device to detonate Mani is a simple task. And that is it. I'm still not comfortable having to read characters who commit not living. Yeah, as I said, I technically tried to record this earlier, but then I messed up my intro again, like several times. And I was like, okay, I read this note. No, I don't want to read it yet. I don't want to read it in this state of the video. And also, kind of reminder, I can't even edit this. I don't even have the editing software, so... Well, I do, but it's like 30 frames, and I'm starting to like 60 frames more, so... Yeah. Anyways, I'm gonna close out the game, but for the time being, I will switch to this scene. Because I want to discuss my remaining thoughts on the game. And also, we're gonna close the game out. Okay. Okay, for a few seconds, it's gonna be quiet. Don't mind that. I'm going to play music in the background from the soundtrack. And if anyone's asking how I got this, I wouldn't say pre-order because they didn't do that for Steam. Instead, for Steam, they put in, like, you could buy the game, like, within the first week and get the soundtrack DLC. And that's what happened when I bought the game. And also, I did that because I really loved the music from just the trailer, so I was like, I want this. I had to be careful not to play New Game Plus, Invisible, Game of Fate. That might be copyrighted. I'm a little scared it would get like that, though. Let's see. Okay, that's so loud for me, but... Okay, I'm gonna low. That much. Okay. I don't want it too low. My throat. As I said, I did wake up. Also, don't mind this little picture here. I was trying to figure out what to put on for this scene, but I was like, I'll leave it like this. Anyway, some final thoughts. I kind of wrote down a list of what I want to talk about, so I will be doing that. So, for the game as a whole, I really enjoyed it. It's really fun. Despite there being moments where I'm like, why, like, kind of being scared. Well, I mean, that's okay, but, like, changing difficulty at times, it's... The only reason I did that is because I wanted to explore, and I keep getting scared a little too much that I kept pausing the game, I kept delaying myself. As anyone saw from my Chapter 7 videos, when there was that enemy in the room, I kept pausing the game where I was just like, no, I don't want to deal with it. I had to, because it was the only way to progress. Oh god, that was the worst time when I screamed. I screamed so loud that my ears even hurt when I heard myself. I can't talk today. Heard myself scream. Yeah, that was interesting. I had a lot of fun. When I rewatched myself going through the prologue up to like chapter 3, when I realized more about the shigabane, like, it cringed me a bit because, like, you just see me mess up a lot, and I was just like so slow. Makes sense because, you know, this is a new game I'm playing. I never played it before. I didn't even play it before I streamed at all because I wanted to go straight in the game, completely spoiler free. And it was so worth it because it was really, really fun. It made the experience more exciting. Yeah. And also because of how much there is in the game, especially with upgrading, bond events, and all that, not doesn't. It definitely has that replay value for the game. Especially with if you want to 100% on shigabane, because like when you go, like, because you know, for the goats it's kind of, I think there's types of deaths for like, yeah, there's types of deaths for all enemies and different types of how we die in the game. And it definitely has that replay value because it feels like some early deaths are kind of hard to get, especially when you're in late game. Like in the later parts of the game. Yeah. Makes me want to play the game again, but I don't want to play the games. I should probably put this on autoplay. Anyways. What was I talking? Oh yeah, yeah, because like some enemies, like you would kind of outpower the enemies as the game continues. So yeah, definitely the replay value there. Even though you would still be strong enough to kind of beat them easily. Oh yeah, okay, now I remember. I do want to play this game again in the future, but for the time being, I won't because I just finished it and I want to kind of give myself more time to like process it. The ending still gives me so many emotions, so I don't want to kind of immediately start the game again when I still have those emotions fresh in my mind. It was really emotional. That ending, I didn't expect myself to start crying so much from that. It really was an emotional ending. I don't want to say it's more emotional than some games I've played or watched on YouTube. I'm not gonna say that because all games have their own emotionalness to it, so yeah. And also a question that some people would probably be wondering: if I don't have an editing program, how did I edit the finale? Well, because I streamed it, I can make it a highlight on my Twitch channel, and I might be making these highlights, maybe, like in general. But for the finale video, I went into the VOD, I clicked highlight, and I managed to take portions of the second half of it, not really the second half, but when I stopped the first recording and continued, because, well, yeah, I always do that, so the videos wouldn't be like 5 hours long. The finale's an exception though. But I did that, and only showed you guys portions of it, and I didn't want you guys to see me one-hit the boss on difficulty 1. That was really, I still feel so ashamed of doing that because I did not expect, well, I mean, I should have expected that, but to be fair, I did regret it when the cutscene was halfway done because I was like, okay, now that I think about it, I really should have put it on difficulty 2. So when I actually got back into the game, I felt much better playing on difficulty 2 to fight the boss because much more satisfying result compared to the first time. It was either you see me one-hit the boss or get play. I should really put. Either see me one-hit the boss or actually be on a higher difficulty fighting the boss like that. Yeah. And my throat. My throat dries up a lot whenever I'm talking. Give me a second. Okay, I had to mute my mic so you guys don't hear me cough anymore through it. Anyways, okay, I discussed that. Yeah, I did notice a few typos in the game, but they're not like, it doesn't matter because I play like so many games and watch so many games that typos are common. They're unavoidable. But like there were some notable ones like how Mamoru and Sachika's description referred to each other as step siblings. They're half siblings. They share one parent. They're related through their dad. So that's like one of the obvious errors. But outside of that, and maybe like 2 or 3 more of them in the game, it's fine. Especially visual novels. They tend to have typos for being really giant games. And there's no doubt that there would be typos in general, like for any game, no matter the language, because, like, I mean, like, I'm working on my own series, which does have, which will involve a lot of dialogue, so I'm gonna be missing a lot of errors along the way, so it's not new. And also, because I love this game, I do want to recommend it to you guys if you haven't played it, which is kind of weird to say in this video because this also shows the final note, and I'm talking about spoilers a bit. But I do want to recommend this game, like, to people, because it's a really good game. Also, in a weird way, it's like, if you love Danganronpa, you would also, I bet you'll love this game too. Part of that reason may have to do with the creators, most of the creators of this game, like, also worked on Danganronpa. But still, this game is really fun. It's its own thing, but yeah, I recommend it very much. Okay, what else? I think that's mostly it about, like, my playthrough and recommending the game. But seriously, I really recommend it. It's really fun. Sure, there were moments where it's like, you would cringe at me because I was like, why did you do that or something? But then again, it's my own playthrough. I'm blind to the game. I had no idea what was coming at all. So, yeah. But when I play it again, I will play on higher difficulties because I want to experiment with other stuff and try to 100% some things. I still want to mess with this shigabane. I don't know how I'm going to get 100% on that because some of the deaths are quite interesting. And one of them requires you to fail some of their ailments. And I'm a little nervous to do that because considering that they're really bad type of deaths, I don't want to get those type of deaths in the game. So well, I will have to bear with it if I want to get 100% on shigabane. So yay, that'll be fun. Oh, and also about the ending, I do want to revise a little bit about what I thought in those final seconds before, you know, the screen said, "Thank you for playing Zanki 0." I did say it in at the end of my, the finale video, but I want to say it again. Like, I did have, like, two possibilities. One being that, two possibilities of what I thought happened. One being Sachika, the new Sachika grew older, and got older, and, like, she and the mysterious boy probably had children together. Like, two little children. I'm saying two because, you know, when you see the extend machine, it adds a third life, and we hear a fourth sound after it showed that. So that's my assumption. And there's also a second possibility, which can also work with the first one. Which is, she got older and did that, but she also found a way to revive her caretakers, the 7, you know, characters. I believe that also happened, but if that happens, it also leads into this third possibility where she might have found a way to remove the aging effect so they would be reborn without that handicap, I suppose you could say. Describe it. Like, that's what I think. And I like how it kept it vague because it gives us these ideas to kind of guess from. Like, it doesn't confirm anything, and I'm okay with that because I love when we kind of have room for interpretation. So, like, there's not one cemented answer to this whole thing. But either way, the end, like, this outside possibilities, like, it's a very bittersweet ending, and it does kind of have that ray of hope a little bit. Hope spot, I suppose. I guess that's a good way to explain it. I'm not 100% sure. Also, because I'm done with this game, I will be doing another playthrough in the future. I won't start it right away because I want to kind of take a break with a bunch of stuff happening and all that. Kind of take a break from making a lengthy playthrough, especially RPGs. I'm not going to be playing RPGs specifically for a while. And I mean, like, you know, a Tales game. I will play more Tales games on my Twitch channel when I'll upload the VODs here. But the thing is, I won't do one immediately because this game took 2 months to finish. Roughly 2 months. I started on April 16th and now finished on June 6th. Actually, well, it's not June 6th today, it's the 11th. It's June 11th, 2019, if anyone's wondering. And, yeah. I do plan to stream more playthroughs in the future, naturally. But for now, I'll probably stick with small games and like MMOs until I decided to do the next big thing, like the next big playthrough. And also some quick little notes from playing the game. One thing, favorite characters. Before I played this game as a whole, like, and when I first saw the characters in the trailer, I immediately loved Haruto. Like, I immediately, like, said, okay, he's my favorite character. He looks pure. A pure boy. Even though they're, like, 25 years old by default. And then while playing through this game, I started to like Haruto more, but I also started to love Zen very much. And now I'm just like, if I'm ever asked who my favorite character is, like the one favorite character, I cannot decide if it's Haruto or Zen, because I like them both. They're precious. They're precious characters. I like them all, but if I had to choose, I would pick either one of them. I like all their backstories. All the backstories are interesting. I'm still a little confused about the pride theme. And I mean pride as in the 7 deadly sin. I know pride in the other term, but in the terms of 7 deadly sins, I'm not that familiar with that particular sin. Because it kind of has many meanings, and it confuses me. But every other sin described in their stories, makes sense. Probably because I'm more familiar with those. That may be the reason. But outside that, their backstories were... I loved their backstories, but they were really messed up. And I'm like, it just makes you want to hug these characters. Like, it's okay. It's okay. This happened, but... There's more to life. It's okay. Given that... Yeah, Haruto's backstory. Let's not discuss that. I don't want to describe that theme. No, I don't want to. It can get somewhere we should not talk about. Anyways, and I think that's it. That's all I wanted to tell you guys, and I kept it short. Oh yeah, and one more thing. I do plan to make highlights related to this, to my playthrough. Like, yeah, put all the clips together into one little highlight video. Not sure when I'll do that. Probably when I actually get an editing software in the future. I really wish I have one. I do have one, but I want to render videos in 60 frames. The weird thing about it is that I can edit in the 60 frames, but I can't render in the 60 frames. It doesn't give me that option for some reason. I don't know why. Anyways, that is all. That is all with Zanki 0. I showed you guys the final note. And also, it's pretty obvious to kind of guess from the note because I did the ending of the game and I finished the story obviously, and like you could kind of get the clues there of what happens anyway. Anyways, that is all done. I finished the game. I might play it again in the future. Probably not as a stream game. I might consider it, but it's probably just gonna be a fun stream, just exploring around. If I ever go back to this game for streaming. Outside that, I'm officially done with the playthrough on Zanki 0. Really fun game. Definitely recommend it. Once again, I recommend it. And there will be more playthroughs in the future. And not just this game, obviously. Anyways, thank you all for watching. And I'll see you guys in the next stream. Video. For YouTube, it's video. For Twitch, it's stream. I'll see you guys next time.